Hey, fatty! Counting calories accurately with precision accuracy is the only sure way to get ripped. It's the only sure way to get ripped. Eating whatever the hell you want. Okay, when I say whatever the hell you want, I mean whatever macros. It doesn't even matter. Okay, it doesn't even matter. All you need to do is have a good starting calorie count. Okay, now I'm going to give my recommendation for a good starting calorie count for the first week that you're counting the calories and what you should be eating, why I eat packaged and canned goods. You don't have to lose weight the first week. If you make a little bit of a mistake on your calorie number that you pick, it's fine as long as you're counting the calories accurately. And chances are, if you use the numbers I'm going to give you, you're going to lose body fat on these numbers. Now, if you feel like these numbers, you can get a little more aggressive with no issues, go ahead. For men, unless you're a very, very small guy, okay, this is going by me, I'm 5'7". Okay, so I'm on the bottom end of the height. Unless you're a guy that's like 5'4", 5'3", you can go lower than this. A good starting calorie count for men. This isn't counting any of the 0-calorie days if you're throwing in, for example, some snake juice fasting. This is your diet. A good starting calorie count is going to be 2,000 calories a day maximum. Okay, no screwing up the count. Okay, max. Okay, you don't tolerate anything that's over that. And that being said, you're trying to see how your body's going to react to 2 grand. So you don't want to be way under it either. It's going to prove that, okay, 2 grand elicits a weight loss result. If it does, that's something that you can hold on to. Now, obviously, if you're a guy that's really short, like 5'4", 3 or something, okay, then maybe you play around with like 1,800 or 1,700. The other way you can do it is you go to the BMI calculator. You use the top end of normal if you're a man, 24.9 BMI. Put in your height, work it out to it's a 24.9 BMI. What's the weight at? Whatever that weight is. That's the goal weight, not necessarily your goal weight where you're going to be lean, but that's the weight they would use on your BMR calculator to figure out your BMR. Okay, and that BMR number, you could start with that, which is going to be even more aggressive than the 2,000 I just said. That'd be your BMR calorie count. You start with that. And maybe if you know already that you just walk a fair amount for your job, maybe go to the first activity level, which would be sedentary. But 2 grand, start there, you fat pig, if you're a male. Just start at 2 grand. Now, how do you know you're even eating 2 grand? You need to count it with precision accuracy. Don't piss around with anything you gotta weigh. Okay, don't piss around with buying big bags of shit and guessing on the size of the cup. Packaged and canned goods. Packaged and canned goods. Okay, you can eat whatever the hell you want as long as you can count it accurately. If you can't count it with precision accuracy, you do not eat it, you fat pig. Anything that's canned is going to be exact. If you got something that's canned and you're trying to figure it out, it's a little different in the States. You would take the total milliliters of the can, divide by how many milliliters they say in the serving count for that calorie count. So if it's like, say, 567 milliliter can of stew, and it says that you're 100 calories for 167 milliliters, you go 567 divided by 167 times the 100 cal for the calories on the full can. That's another thing I do. The way I do it, I literally still use intermittent fasting, basically OMAD. I just go to the grocery store and build a 2,000 calorie meal right on the fly. And I make sure I'm under. Yesterday I was at like 1,947. Now for me, my goal weight, even though maybe I'll be super lean before I hit this is a low goal weight for me. This is me for sure. under 10% body fat. Probably under 8. But I put 10% in this video because most people will never see 10% in their life if they're trying to wing some magic diet bullshit. Men can do this. Okay? My BMR at 160-pound body weight is 1,579 cal. So all I did is I added 1,000 of that, which I'm easily, that means I got to burn an extra 400 a day with my whatever. I don't even log any real cardio. Okay, a little bit of bag work, sometimes for 5-10 minutes. Go to the swimming pool. Some days I would hit a swim. Okay, I know for sure I am running a massive deficit, okay, at 2,000 a day. Plus, I know from experience when I've cut before. 2 grand, fat ass, you fat ass man. Okay, max pig. 2 grand you could start out if you're a really short guy. Okay, maybe 1,700. And the guys that are big and fat, 2 grand, fat ass. Don't go use that BMR calculator and putting in your current body weight, you idiot. It'll spit out some stupid ass high number that you don't need to eat. Canned and packaged goods. Okay, the Cole Robinson accuracy, the precision accuracy calorie counting method, baby. And you don't, if you're accurate on that calorie count, see where it takes you. If you happen to be that really small guy and you're like, I'm going to try Cole's 2 grand with the packaged goods, 2 grand, always under the 2. Always just under. Never go over. Ever. If you end up being at 1,900 or something or 1,850, okay, ideally you want to see where the 2 grand will take you. Get close to it, but not over. Give it 7 days. See if it elicits a weight loss result. Elicits a weight loss result. Then you can adjust. If it's dropping like a stone, okay, perfect. Okay, if it's not barely dropping and you're like a guy that's 5'4", bump it down to 1,800. The most important part's the accuracy of the calorie count. So if you're using your stupid app, your apps are a joke. I had a guy even today at the gym. He showed me his calorie count on his app. It doesn't mean a fucking thing. Because he still had to count the food. The app's only as accurate as his counting. And he's eating a bunch of shit. He's measuring and shit. He doesn't even know. I asked him. He has no clue. He's a little guy. And I'm like, there's no way you're eating that calorie count that you showed me. Not a chance. He's like 5'2". Packaged and canned goods. If there's one thing, right off the bat, okay, if you're trying to figure out a starting calorie count to use, I'm giving you just across the board numbers that are a good starting point, and you can adjust from there, or use the BMI chart. If you're a woman, I'll get into a woman. If you're a woman, the low end on the BMI chart. So you use your height and use 18.5 BMI, you fat pig. What weight does it spit out? If you go look at the actual chart at your height and 18.5 BMI, use that weight. Maybe you'll never hit that weight. But use that weight and throw it in your BMR calculator with your age and sex, and it'll spit out a BMR calorie count. That BMR calorie count is going to be right there. You're going to be definitely cutting body fat on the BMR of that weight that you got using 18.5 on the BMI chart at your height. Okay, and then, like I say, if you're dropping weight out like crazy on the BMR count, where it feels like you can't hold on to it, then go to the next one. The one that's basically says sedentary. Okay, don't go adding a bunch of calories to your BMR count because your stupid Apple Watch is claiming you're burning this much on the day. Now, the straight across the board number that I would recommend for women to start at, what I'm telling you to do with the BMI and the BMR calculators is a joke. Okay, it's Mickey Mouse grade 5 math. But if you just need to start at a number, most of you women do not go over 1,200. Fat ass pigs. 1,200 is plenty. It's too much for really short women. There's shit on Reddit right now. It's getting reported because 5 feet tall women literally can't even talk about a calorie count that's like under a grand Because you know how tall you know how much they should weigh, most of these women that are like under, if you're literally 5 feet, I believe it was 5'1" or 5 feet. Okay, the weight we're talking is 100 pounds or less. So you take 100 pounds and put it in the BMR calculator, what's it spitting out? It's a low ass number. Okay, at 5'3" on the low end on the BMI chart, at 18.5 BMI, at 5'3", will spit out like 1,000 calorie a day, BMR. So if you're not doing shit, okay, you might even be burning 1,300 if you're walking a bit. Okay, so that means you're in a deficit, but you would have to be walking and burning off an extra 300. The BMR you can trust. You're going to be pulling on body fat. If you use a BMR based on the low end of normal on the BMI chart for your height if you're a woman, and the high end of normal if you're a man, honestly, some men are slim like women and have lower muscle mass. It depends what your goal is. You might even want to use middle of normal if you're a man. Something that's, well, right in the middle, 18.5 and 24.9. That BMR, you're going to cut body fat, baby. Me, I know my numbers. For me, 2 grand is a joke. I can sustain that like a joke. Okay, because what you're trying to do here is separate anything that you're doing with the fasting from your diet. Okay, you don't need to pull on the dieting day so hard. If you're going to fast, do a fast. And then you jump back into the diet. You're going to have way more sustainability. A lot of you fat pigs can easily, yeah, you might bust out a fast here and there. You need to learn how to eat in a deficit every day. Or you're just going to be yo-yoing and you'll never get slim, ever. Now, the psychology behind counting the calories. What do you think happens after you count calories long enough? And you get slim. You end up being an intuitive eater because you can eyeball it right there. Like if you go into the store, especially if you're buying some packaged goods, it's like it's right on the package. I don't use any bullshit apps or nothing. All I do, when I'm in the store, I literally add it up right then and there. Okay, and I just make sure with me, I know I only have to burn 400 calories over my BMR on the day to basically be on pace for a 160-pound body weight. That's why I'm using 2 grand. Because there is activity in my life. But if the guy was trying to get to 160 that was my size, they could literally start with the so my BMR at 160, which right now I'm in the high 170s. At 160 is 1579. The next one is 1895, where it would be sedentary. The next one after that's 2176. So me at 2 grand with and I'm not even doing much activity. I'm not doing any forced cardio. None. Now am I okay tolerating a way slower drop? Yeah. Okay, like I'll give myself probably like 8, 10, 12, 10 weeks. 10 weeks to go from where I'm at now to stripped. Effortless. Now you fat pigs, if you feel that using the BMR that you calculated, based on the BMI chart, okay, based on the BMI chart, low end of normal for women, high end of normal for men's a good start. If you're a really slim guy and you want to maintain just slim body and you don't have a lot of muscle and you don't care, middle of normal. Okay, if you're eating a calorie count that BMR spits out, you're going to be in a rank deficit. And if that feels like it's really easy, then pull it down 100 or 200 calorie more than that. That's where you'll get some fat men that might be able to hold on to something that's like 12, 1,500 a day on their eating days. Maybe even $1 grand. But if that grand feels like it's going to be, you're going to break on the grand, don't make sure you catch yourself right away and understand like, yeah, I'm losing weight a little faster on $1 grand if you're a big fat dude. But just bump it up to like 1,500. You're still losing weight, fat ass. You want to make it as easy as possible. You can eat whatever the hell you want. You don't have to, you can have, like last night, here's what I ate yesterday night. I ate a 375 gram package of chicken breast for my meat source. I ate a 600 gram bag of mango. I ate a Snickers bar that was 240 calories. Okay, and obviously the mango way I do it, I take 600 grams divided by how many calories in the gram serving on the bag, whatever that was, and then I just go 600 divided by that gram serving times by how many calories are in how many servings. Bang, I got the total calorie count. I ate a can of chili. Those canned chilies and some of that stuff, those canned meats are perfect. They're super high in sodium and potassium. Okay, because when you're running a big deficit, you need to get those salts in. Okay, if you want to support me, snake juice, salt, links will be in the comments. What else did I have? Oh, and a can of cream corn. It was literally 1,948 calories on the money. It's a joke for me to hold on to 2 grand. What I'm trying to tell you, fat pigs, if you're serious about actually getting lean, not this half-assed weight loss, okay? Like, half-assed weight loss is that's bullshit, lame-ass mediocrity shit. Okay, it's like somebody that weighed a pile and they lost some fat. It's like, you were fat to start with, now you're just less fat. You're still a fat ass. If you eat like you're already lean now, you're gonna get there. So if you're a woman right now and you're like, shit, Cole said that I'll start with 1,200 cal. Perfect. Perfect. All you fat pigs will lose weight on 1,200 cal. And the women that are definitely smaller, okay, if you feel good to pulling it down to a grand, because I've been saying in the videos, a grand. A grand a day keeps the fat away, pig. Okay, most women will get so triggered by that. You're an idiot. Okay, any woman that's like 5'3", 5'2", 5 feet, that'd be the perfect starting point. A grand. But if you're really fat and you're 5'2", your BMR is going to be higher now, but you use the BMR that you would be if you were like 100 pounds. And you use that BMR calorie count, which I'll tell you right now, at 5'2", 5'1", and shit, it's going to be 1,000, 1,100 calorie. The BMR. 5'3", it's actually 1,000 something. So 5'2", 5'1's less. You're going to get BMRs where it's like 900. And you got women that are like 5'1", 5'2", that are like 300 pounds. So until you figure that out, the calories need to be accurate. Accurate, 100% accurate. That can't be flawed. Because if you're not getting a perfect calorie count, you might as well not even be doing it. And this will allow you, what's the benefit of this? You don't got to do some zero carb bullshit. You don't got to do some zero fat bullshit. You can eat whatever the fuck you want. Whatever you want, if it fits that calorie count. And the leaner you get, you don't even have to chase protein. Intuitively, what'll happen when you get lean is some days you just crave more protein, fit it into your calorie count. Some days you want less protein, fit it into your calorie count. Your body's going to literally intuitively tell you the macros. Like the day before yesterday, I had my protein was way down. I had some greasier, fattier protein source. Yesterday, I craved a bit more, so I had the leaner protein source. Okay, I had the leaner protein source yesterday. And then I even had a chocolate bar yesterday. It was 1,947 cal. Once you start doing this, you're going to literally be like, holy shit. You're going to feel like you're already there. Because you're not listening to these jackass talking heads about don't eat this, don't eat that. Okay? If you got Funkster, it's like, oh, just don't eat less. Just eat less often, idiot. Idiot. Have fun staying in Stall City the rest of your life with that advice. Especially these fat dudes that can eat a pile in a sitting that aren't developing any sort of portion control because they're not counting shit on a meal a day even. Okay, and then there's these people that are eating their stupid low carb shit. Okay, listening to Sean Dad Bod Baker, Ken Dad Bod Barry, Anthony Bitch Tits Chafee. Okay, not one of them is lean. If you look at the most people that are actually lean, they're either counting the calories or they've counted the calories so damn long they can just eyeball and intuitively eat. So the first week, just start there. 2 grand for men, 1,200 for women. See where that calorie train takes you. If it's looking good and you're getting a nice little drop, perfect. Perfect. Okay, if you feel it's an easy calorie count, drop it down. Then play around with the BMI and BMR. That's the BMI BMR strategy, I'm telling you, is going to be lower than 2 grand. Okay, for most guys. The BMR is going to be under 2 grand. You got to be a big dude to have a BMR at 2 grand. Big dude. Okay, I believe even a guy that's like 6'8", a guy that's like 6'8" on the high end of normal on that BMI chart, his BMR is going to be like 25 at 6'8". Something shit like that, 26. Okay, women, your BMR is going to be under almost every woman, unless you're on the far end of the bell curve for height, your BMR, if you're using the low end BMI of 18.5, the low end of normal on the BMI chart, your BMR will be under 1,200 a day. You'd have to be a tall one. Somebody check it for me. Okay, what height do you have to be at an 18.5 BMI to spit out a BMR at, let's say, an average age, let's just put in, even a younger age, put in 25 years old. I guarantee you, the height the woman's got to be to have a 1,200 calorie BMR at, say, 25, 30 years old is going to be literally still way low. It's not even going to be 1,200 calories. And that'd be a tall woman. The packaged and canned goods, you need to count the food accurate. You got all the time in the world to get lean and then piss around with weighing shit on the scale. You're going to screw it up. And it makes a big difference. Even like, imagine you do get a ribeye steak even. Imagine you threw a ribeye steak in your meal or some shit. And the ribeye steak is like exactly a certain amount of grams. You go on Google and figure it out. The fat in that steak is variable as hell. You could have a steak that's fattier, bang, you got an extra 120 calories on the same 1 pound steak. And they're both ribeye. Okay, they're both ribeye. When you eat the packaged meats, shit like that, okay, you're not going to have that issue. It's cookie cutter the same. You want to make the food you eat cookie cutter, identical. Packaged and canned goods. If you're serious about this shit, you'll listen to me, because it's the only way you're going to get no one's going to get a more accurate calorie count than somebody like me that's eating packaged and canned goods. And that way you can throw in your packaged chocolate. Shit, you can even throw in, if you really crave ice cream, those mini tubs, like you could if you're a dude. Okay, I like eating the whole thing because then you're not pissing around with 50%. 50%, you're messing around a little bit if you're just finishing half of a serving. But there's like those ice creams are like $1 grand. They're like just under 1,000 calories for the whole tub of ice cream. You could have that at 2 grand that I'm at, like talking about me. I could eat that whole tub of ice cream, throw in some sort of protein source in there, and maybe a bag of fruit, and I'd still be under 2 grand. In fact, if I went a whole tub of that ice cream, 486 calories of packaged chicken breast, which was 300, that was the one I had last night. And then, so that still allows me like another 500 cal. And then I throw in like some sort of a starch source in there, or a combination of fruit and starch, or just a bag of fruit. Bang! Under 2 grand. And I entertain myself the whole thing ice cream. Still cutting body fat. Because all that matters is the fucking calorie count. The overarching theme is a calorie count. If you let these jackasses distract you with some of these talking points, man, the calorie in, calorie out model, it covers everything, like your thermal effect, the protein and shit. You don't need to overcomplicate that shit and get into all this bullshit. You just need to count the calories on the package and get a trend going with the calorie count being the same every day and your fucking weight on the scale. That's all you need to do, is get a trend going. So for you fat ass men, 2 grand, the reason I even say 2 grand, there's going to be guys who are going to be able to run it lower than that and sustain it for a while. But what reason I'm saying that is because if you're not trying to rush, and 2 grand, you're going to lose weight fast if you're a really fat man. $2,000 you could sustain till damn near the day you die, unless you're a really big dude where you end up just getting literally underweight on $2,000. You can hold on to that. Like, for me to hold on to $2,000 a day, and I know it's going to take me down to the low 160s. Now, if I stall, like, I'm not even weighing myself every day right now because I don't even need to. My calorie count's so strict. In fact, the scale, if you're trying to lose a little slower, if you only have 20 pounds to lose, can mess with you. So I'll just weigh myself on the weekly and just make sure I'm holding that $2,000. Just under $2,000. Okay, I'm making sure I'm close to it. I'm not entertaining even 1,700 right now. I want to be actually $2,000, very close. But I'll never let it be over. It'll always be somewhere between 19 and $2,000. Okay, because I know I'm going to have days, if I'm only at a cut that's going to yield about 2 pounds a week, 2 pounds a week of body fat, 10 weeks, shredded. That's for me. You fat pigs will lose weight way faster on the same calorie count because you're so fat, your BMR's through the roof. Your actual BMR that you would be right now, but that's not the one you use to calculate anything. You use the one of a goal weight using that BMI chart. Okay, it's simple. I can hold on to it like it's a cakewalk. Because what's the one reason why I can hold on to it so easy? I can eat whatever the fuck I want. Okay, you low fat people can't eat a chocolate bar. You're not gonna be able to eat chocolate. How sustainable now is a diet gonna be if you can't even have a fucking chocolate bar? Okay, you just dropped the sustainability through the floor. Okay, how sustainable is a diet where you couldn't have some meat even or some fat? How sustainable is a diet where you can't eat any carbs? Fuck! Even worse. I eat whatever the hell I want. And what I do, like I say, if you have a cheap calculator, you go in there. If you're going to eat, you don't have, I fast all day and usually do like OMAD. But you don't need to. Okay, it doesn't matter. Fung. It doesn't matter. It's just a tactic I use when I'm trying to get really lean so I can run the calories lower than hell. If I was eating 3 meals and trying to log a 2,000 calorie a day diet on 3 meals, it'd be a nightmare for me. At night, I'd feel like I was just starving to death by the end of the day. It's easy for me to go all day on nothing than just eat in the evening and just get the food in a bit. Like yesterday, I'm not even rushing it in like it's one meal in 10 minutes. It's like I ate the food in like maybe an hour and a half. Doesn't matter at that point because the calories ain't gonna fucking change if I took a half an hour to eat the food or 2 hours. Or all day. Okay? Nothing is more important than that calorie count. I'm hitting $2,000 or just under like there's a gun to my head. You do the same. You women, if you're a woman that's a butterball, and unless you're like a 1,200 or under, just see what 1,200 does or less. Okay? And then obviously, once you got that under control and you actually know how to diet, then if you want to play around with a fast, throw one in and then jump back on your actual diet. Because how many fasting days do you think you're going to have in a calendar year, you fat pigs? Like, even if you're trying to fast all the time, do you think most of you are going to log 60 fasting days at 0 calories? Fuck no. So now you have 300 days that you had to eat. Okay, if you're not eating properly at a calorie count that's going to keep you at a good body weight for those other 300 days, all that fasting you did was a complete waste of time. A complete waste. Nobody even watching this is going to fast 60 days this next 365 days. They're not going to have 60 0-calorie days. There's no fucking way. They'd be very rare. And I'll tell you, a lot of the ones that did even log that kind of fasting time, they're going to be the biggest yo-yo dieters out of everybody. Truthfully, you have no business fasting until you can hold a calorie count. If you can't hold a calorie count that's accurate, you're never going to get slim. Okay, and I'm in the business of getting people slim from super fat to 20 pounds overweight. Okay, not this half-ass bullshit. Everything you're hearing outside of what I'm telling you on these last couple videos is complete fucking bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Any of the vegans even that are serious about holding a good body composition, the ones that are actually hitting, the ones that are very lean with a good amount of muscle, they're still hitting a minimum protein count. And truth be told, you know what's really funny? Even some of the vegans that promote very low fat, They're eating like 70 grams of fat a day, these guys. Okay, they're promoting the very low fat, which just brings the calories down. They're saying that to the fat asses. But there's guys out there that are eating avocados and seeds and shit that are promoting like a zero fat diet to the fat pigs. Because they know damn well the reason they added the fat back in, because they were getting too lean just from driving the calories through the floor on straight fruit, that they had to add the fat back in. Okay, so there's no magic. The point is, there's no magic. The fat's in their diet and they're still staying slim. Because it's all a fucking calorie count. It's all a calorie count. Even guys like, even guys like Harley, Dirty, and Ryder's eating fat. All right? So all the people that keep bringing that name up and some of these other people, there's fat in their damn diet. Okay? Well, if he's trying to lean out, will he pull it lower? Yeah, now his protein's really low, and you can see it on his body, on his physique. So regardless, though, the weight is going to be based on the calorie count. Okay, this guy's lean and he's biking a lot, and he's probably at a 3,000 calorie burn a day. It'll always make sense. There's fat in his diet. If he yards the fat out, he'll start to get even too underweight because it's just calorie in. Okay, there's lots of guys that are doing a plant-based diet that have a better physique than him by far. He's a runner and a cyclist. But guys that are doing bodyweight calisthenics, and they're running the protein about 60, 70, 80 grams a day, and the fat's like at 60. And it's still mostly carbs. That's your vegan. But those people are promoting low-fat vegan diet because they're still addressing the super fat pigs to try to get the calories down. Because these fat pigs don't need 3,000 calories a day. That's what a lot of those vegans will do if they start to get too slim on their fruit diet and vegetables and starch. They'll wrap the calories up with fat. So there's no magic, is there? Because now they're eating fat and they're not gaining weight back. Okay, they're maintaining the weight it's a calorie count. Do you think they'd start gaining weight back if they dropped their carbs even lower and even added more fat calories? No. So long as the calories are identical, they wouldn't gain shit. And then when you get lean enough, and if you care about some muscle mass, the fat people don't even have to worry about any of this. It's going to be so intuitive to the lifestyle you run. If you're a runner and a cyclist, your body's not going to crave crazy amounts of protein. It's going to crave a little more protein when you're doing more resistance type training where you're beating up tendons and shit. You don't even need to count that shit. You just make sure you're on point on your calorie count, which let's say you finally get lean and your maintenance calorie count for a male is like, let's say 2,400. Let's use me. That's what'll probably happen. I'll probably start creeping it up to 2,400 when I get lean. I'll just make sure I'm hitting the 2,400, and I'll just yo-yo the macros on the day based on how I feel. One day I might be crazy low on the protein. Next day it's a little higher. Next day it's a little lower. One day I might have way more fat than another day. But the calories will be 2,400. I'm just saying that number, whatever number I end up leveling out at a goal weight, at a goal body fat level, at a goal even muscle mass level for me. Everything outside of these basic points is a crock of shit. Okay, when people will start to feed you shit on the zero carb bandwagon, like a lot of these zero carbers, they get so, it's like, protein's not a bad thing. But the problem with these guys is they'll get so brainwashing and dogmatic, they'll brainwash themselves. And then they'll be like, oh, as long as you're eating a zero carb diet, now calories don't matter. Says nobody that's ripped. All right? Nobody. And they'll bring up, the thermal effect of food. The thermal effect of protein means nothing. Means nothing on the grand scheme of things. Means absolutely fucking nothing. All right? Okay, your Randall cycle bullshit that you hear from these jokers, these zero carbers, means absolutely fucking nothing on the grand scheme of things. The only thing that's going to matter is that calorie count. And if calorie for calorie, calories equated, you're going to have basically identical weight loss results. Now, will the protein matter more when you get right ripped? Yeah. More so depending on what your goals are. If you want to be a real slim runner, then you almost don't want muscle on. You want to be even lighter. Okay? It depends on what the goals are, but you don't even have to count that shit. You just intuitively end up mixing and matching the foods. You do whatever the fuck you want. Whatever you want. And I'm gonna say this, and I said it a few times. Volume isn't always ideal. In fact, it's not. Some people do good on a low calorie, food choice type diet. Like we're talking low fat, higher volume. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be people that feel like there's not enough satiation there. And they'll actually do better and run the calories through the floor easier on something that you think is dirty and mixing fat and carbs. Who cares? Who gives a shit? There's going to be people that'll do better eating straight chocolate bars than they would on fruit. They'll feel better and they can actually eat less calories on the chocolate bars. Even though the volume is not even close to that of the fruit, it's hard to get into the fruit. But the thing is, the wet fruit, if you're doing something like, there was like really like extreme, just straight fruit diet, it's like the hunger never gets dissipated. It's like always there. And then you're pissing like a racehorse too, and that'll screw up your sleep at night. So that's why I am out. I am not pushing any food choice bullshit. I don't give a rat's ass what you eat. If that weight ain't dropping, the calories you're eating is too high. And if you know what you're doing, you're going to build a diet and you base it around the calorie count, you can eat whatever you want. You can still entertain chocolate. You can entertain ice cream. You can entertain even like now, say you go to McDonald's. The burgers will be very, very similar. But say the fries, if they load those fries up a little heavy, you can have an extra 100 calories in that pack of fries. Now, once you're already lean, who gives a shit? Because you're logging your weight, you see a little bit of a creep up, you're already lean, you gain like a pound over like a week or two, you'll catch where the problem's at. This makes you able to eat intuitively long term. It makes you a better eater, a smarter eater, okay, a disciplined eater. It puts you in touch with your body. Okay, just trying to chase volume is not ideal. It's not. Okay, even like, man, you could have anything. I don't give a shit what you eat. Okay, I'm telling you the calories to start at. Good numbers, triggering numbers. Okay, the 2 grand, when I talk about that for men, that won't trigger because 2 grand still seems like a decent amount of food, but that's for men. Women, 1,200 or less. Women, 1,200 or less, you fat fucking pig. See where the 1,200 calorie train takes you for a week. And you count it using canned and packaged goods. Okay, don't even vegetables and shit that are frozen in the bag. That is still, there's calories there. You will fuck it up. You will be high. Most of you will be high on the high end, and you'll start to overload the cup, chasing a little extra. Packaged and canned goods is fucking genius, bitch. Once you get straight up ripped, then play. Then play. Okay, then play. If you bite off more than you can chew, and let's say you're a woman and you know damn well you're cutting weight on 1,200 a day, and you try to drop it down to like 1,000 or 900, and you're like, okay, this is a little too hard, that's where intermittent fasting comes in as well, because obviously it's easy to fast all day and then have a little more in the evening, because really it's the sleep that ends up being the issue. This is when you're getting leaner and healthy. If you're a fat ass woman and you're like 250, 300 pounds, you probably feel like $1 million on 900. But if you simply don't think you can hold on to it, and you know you're cutting weight like crazy on 1,200, just eat the 1,200. Okay, you're gonna get there. Stop worrying. Stop trying to. Time's on your side, fat ass. Not all of you, but most of you aren't gonna die tomorrow. Okay, and as long as you're in a state of weight loss, if you're in a really bad shape, like with blood pressure and shit, you're in a state of weight loss, that shit's gonna drop off. Yeah, even losing the first 10, 20 pounds. All right, okay, like, man, this is it. You watch any of these last 2 or 3 videos I made, it's done deal. Everything else outside of this is a complete crock of shit. All right, what do we got here? So right now, to go over it again, like I'm eating 2 grand a day or slightly under canned goods. Perfect accuracy in my counting. Perfect accuracy. I do it on a something that looks like a meal a day-ish. Okay, where I'll fast. I'll probably go to the pool after this, sit in the hot tub bit, then I'll go to the grocery store. I get my food right on the fly. Now, if you're not doing that, if you're not eating later in the day like me, and you plan on just eating through the day, the calorie count is king. If you're doing that, if you are weighing yourself, maybe a morning weigh-in would be better if you're eating light at night. But like I say, if you eat too late at night, don't screw it up. Like the calorie count's king. You can't go over that. Have a gun to your head on that calorie count. And eat foods that are 100% accurate count. No guesswork. No weighing your shit. No guessing on meat sources using Google and there's a strip of fat on them. None of this shit. Count the calories. Packaged goods are going to be king. And if you fuck that calorie count up, you might as well not even bother. Okay, you need that to be accurate to get a proper trend on what the hell's going on with your body. Most of these women that are saying that they were running 1,200 calories a day and shit, they weren't running 1,200. They weren't running 1,200. They're high. They were high. And also they think 1,200 is like low. Fuck, pig. That's your maintenance. That's a normal amount of food for a woman. A woman that's leading a normal lifestyle. 1,200. Women that are actually eating over 2 grand a day, they're probably doing 1,000 calories worth of bike riding. If they're slim. Okay, so it's as easy as that. Okay, go to the BMI calculator. If you're a woman, use the bottom end of normal. 18.5 BMI at your height. What's it spitting out for a weight? Use that weight in the BMR calculator. Figure out the BMR calorie count. There's a very aggressive starting point right there. For most of you women, it's going to be lower than that 1,200 I just said. The 1,200 is a good one, but there might be some women, like if you have only like 10 pounds to drop and you're like 5 feet tall, you might be in a surplus on 1,200. You might eat 1,200 exactly like I'm saying for a week, maybe slightly under, and you might not lose a pound. So what? So what? You didn't waste the week, dummy. You figured something out. Okay, rushing this shit, you'd learn fucking nothing. Okay, spend a couple weeks and figure shit out. Even a week. It'll only take a week. I'm giving you numbers that are like, I'm telling you the numbers. Start there. Start there. All right. All right. Okay, see, people keep bringing up Matt. Okay, Matt is not here anymore. Okay, Matt's weight loss is not my problem anymore. He's not in fat camp. His environment is not here anymore. What happens now is on him. Okay, that's it. End of story. Okay, was he in, this is like rehab when he was here. Was he in rehab long enough? No. No. All right? It's like a crackhead going to rehab for 2 weeks. Okay, he needed to be here till he got way deeper down on that scale to really grilling habits where I had a chance to even just get him eating maintenance. We were just still in phase 1, dropping weight like crazy. He's not here anymore. Okay? When you're with me, you're losing weight. He's not in therapy anymore. He's not at fat camp. He's at home doing whatever. It's not my problem anymore. It would be my problem if he was here. And that was the risk I took from day one when he came here. Okay, Matt was broke. Okay, so there's a million other problems outside of the food. The food was you people with fat people, you always think the food's the problem. There's way more other vices outside of things that are causing that shit. All right, when he came here, I knew he was broke. That was my choice to help bail out a bunch of his payments to come here. That was my risk that he might not be here as long as I wanted, which is what happened. Oh, well. Okay, oh, well. Okay, now he's gone, back in that same environment. Whatever happens, happens. It's on him. Okay, it's not my problem anymore. He's not living with me. But it just goes to show, like I said, the environment is everything. Anybody that is super fat in that current environment they're in, for example, coming and they're in my environment with me, okay, he lost 112 pounds in 60 days with me. And that would have kept going down if he would have stayed with me. But things happened where he couldn't. All right, let's see here. Scotch Pot says, my BMR at goal weight is 1138. No, like I said, don't be using your dumbass goal weight. I'm not saying you're doing this. Use the goal weight that the BMI calculator spits out if you're a woman at 18.5 BMI. Don't use your bullshit goal weight, because most of you guys are going to have some weak-ass goal weight. Use the goal weight I said to get the calorie count. That doesn't mean you're going to ever get to that weight. At an 18.5, we're just using the low end to make it as aggressive as really you need to make it. As aggressive of a BMR calorie count. All right? All right, let's see here. Yeah, I'm way behind on these questions now. Okay, right now, like I said to you guys, I'm eating 2,000 calories exactly. I'm always slightly under, somewhere in the 19s. Okay, I'm not trying to go 1,800 even. I'm somewhere in the 19s, as close as I can get it. Okay, 2 grand. Why am I eating 2 grand? I'm 5'7", my BMR at 160 goal weight. When 160, that goal weight is lower than I probably would ever, need to ever get to be sub 10% body fat. Well, I know it is. Because I've pulled low body fat percentages at 163 pounds. Anyway, my BMR at a 160 is 1,579 calories. And because I do have activity in the day and I wanted to make it as relaxed as I could make it, because I'm only going to be, I want to make it feel like I'm not even trying to diet. So that's why I'm going 2 grand across the board, because that's only me logging 400 calories. If I weighed 160, if I actually weighed 160, to hold 160, that'd be me having to do 400 calories of cardio via just standing around doing whatever, which is nothing, just living the day. Basically, to hold 160. A 2,000 calorie a day diet, for me, is going to be right close to holding on to 160. So even at my current weight, if I just pretend that I'm 160 now, I'm just pretending I'm 160 right now. Is what I'm doing. That's why you fat pigs, if you're a woman, you're 400, you're pretending that you're a woman that's your height, that's an 18.5 BMI right now. Not saying you'll ever need to get to 18.5 BMI, but that's the BMI you would use to figure out the calories. The men, the high side of normal, maybe middle of normal. If you're a skinny dude, you don't really care about having a little more muscle on you. Guys that are the decent amount of muscle that are drug-free, no steroids, you would use the high end of normal on the BMI to figure out a BMR calorie count. And if you're really fat, you use the BMR. If you're a guy that only has 10, 15 pounds to lose, you might take the BMR calorie count at that high end of normal on BMI and maybe add the one step above that for sedentary. So there's BMR and then there's sedentary. You would use that number. Just start there. But if you can hold the BMR, just hold the BMR for a week. If it feels too difficult, just add a couple hundred calories. You need to count it accurate with the packaged goods, canned goods. Packaged and canned goods where the calories are right on there. And you can figure out the calorie count of the whole serving, the whole thing. All right. Let's see here. Okay, here's one. Will Sarge said, I'm a 6'2" male and I gain weight if I'm above 1,500 calories. Okay, so I don't have a... Right off the bat, when people give me a calorie count, you'd have to be a very slim guy. Very slim already to be gaining on 1,500 calories. Very, very, very slim. All right? Like, you'd have to be skin and bones already. But now, 1,500. Like I say, most people, it's like they'll give you some calorie count they think they've been eating. They've only been doing it for like a couple days, have never counted calories before in their life. And they'll throw out a number at you, and they're not even accurately counting anything. They're messing it up. Okay, I'm telling you how to do it properly. You need to count the calories with precision accuracy, or else it's pointless. Okay, or else it's the only way that it's a sure thing. Everything else, you're gambling. If you're just taking some jackass's word for, oh, you're going to get skinny eating this and that, and it's all food choice restriction-based shit, you are going to fucking fail. Because the restriction of the food choice is the worst thing. If you do what I'm telling you, you can eat whatever the hell you want and actually get lean. Okay, whatever you want. Soon as if you're listening to some jackass telling you got to cut carbs forever, you're fucked. You're fucked. Okay, you're fucked. Okay, if somebody's saying you got to cut fat forever, you're fucked. You know, that's it. That's it. You're never gonna get the result that somebody that essentially just runs the calories at the number they know is gonna keep them lean or get them lean, and they eat whatever they want from day to day on that calorie count. That's that easy. And you get so good at it that after a while, even if it was Christmas dinner where you go and somebody cooks something up, maybe you'd go over it at that time. That'd be like the one relaxed day. But really, if you're on point, you could eyeball it so close, you'll know it. And if you have that mindset, you're just trying to eat less in general at that point, you could actually end up eating just less than your maintenance on that day. You could actually run a deficit on Christmas Day if you really tried. Even having pie. Okay, and then if there's alcohol, I suggest you don't drink and get drunk. But if there's booze there, you can fit a beer or two right to the calorie count. Figure it out. Okay, if you're going to a beer that's on tap or some shit, and you know how many ounces, and it's a light beer, you go to a light beer on the internet, look up like Bud Light or whatever, or some light beer, and it's like, like 120 calorie for a whole can? Okay, then you just figure out that. You figure out the ounces of that combined with the ounces of the one you got at the barn, and you know, it's like, bang, I'm about here. So what you do is you might eat a little bit of food before you go out, so you don't get pissed in 2 seconds, or just fast and drink beer, and then you come home and eat your food when you're like, oh, got the munchies and shit. Okay, like, I'm just saying that because people are gonna go get drunk. Like, I don't drink, but you might. That's how you do it. Figure it out. Figure it out. You can literally go into the next day and actually have lost body fat. And your headache, if you're smart, won't even be hardly nothing if you smash in enough salt. Because usually the reason you get the crazy headache the next day if you actually get drunk, because your body can't keep up to getting rid of the toxin that's being created by turning that alcohol into, what is it, acetaldehyde? Acetaldehyde. And you just end up pissing like a racehorse all night. You piss out all your electrolytes. So you got a crazy-ass headache the next day, plus you're just crazy low on fluid. So if you're hammering in V8 vegetable juice or something that's low-cal, count the calories. Okay, you're gonna be like do way better with a headache. All right. It's funny when you talk about even like, I gotta watch this word, like binge eating. Okay, and you got these people that are always telling you to chase high volume diets. Who's the real binge eater? Okay, it's like, oh, just eat this, just eat, save in like the low fat. Obviously, we know the fat's 9 calories a gram, but that's the whole premise, really. It's like, that's what you guys are looking for. How do I still binge eat like a pig and lose weight? That's like the premise of the low fat. And that's the premise of the low carb. Because they sell it like it's magic too. Oh, just eat like a pig and lose weight. The low fat, at least you're going to lose weight. If you cut the fat right on, it's pretty hard to stay like really obese. Where the low carb, high fat shit, you can stay fatter than hell. But that's all premised, you idiots. Okay, anybody that says something about binging just because somebody says they're having a chocolate bar, now it's an issue? Because to you, that's dirty, mixing fat and carbs. The whole premise of your magic diet bullshit, fung, the whole premise is like, don't eat less, just eat less often. That's just promoting a way to make you think you can still binge eat on calories and lose weight. Same with your stupid zero carb carnivore bullshit. Oh, if you just eat as much ribeye as you want, yeah, have fun in Stall fucking City. Okay, the only one that if you eat, you're chasing volume with the low-fat vegan diet too. Okay, that's the one that there's no way you're gonna stay fat on if you actually just run zero fat long enough. But now you're restricting 1 million foods out of the diet. So now the sustainability there is next to nothing. That's why you very rarely run into people that eat like that. This is the only way you're gonna get lean eating whatever the fuck you want. Whatever you want. And the funny part is, once you realize that just counting the calories, eating whatever you want, is getting you a better result than your stupid zero carb carnivore diet, you'll never do it again. You'll never entertain that fucking diet ever again. Ever. Ever. Like, nobody that is lean, that's eating whatever they want, counting the calories, and not even counting them after long enough weeks and months doing it, they can just eyeball it. Nobody's eating a zero carb carnivore fucking diet, I'll tell you that right now. The only reason the vegans will still keep eating their vegan diet is because of that other why factor where they just don't want to eat meat. So they'll continue doing it a long time because they're just not going to eat meat. But the freaking people that are eating the low carb, it's about the carbs being disastrous for it, like where you're going to get fat eating carbs. See, it's a different mindset. See, a lot of those vegans that go zero, really low fat and no meat, and they get slim just because it's the what's the word I'm looking for? It's for the reasons why they're doing it. Literally, they're trying to dodge certain foods that just ends up getting them slim because they end up eating way less fat. And it's no matter how they felt on that diet, they would do it because their why is so strong to have this to do it for that reason, like to not kill animals. Where with the low carb bullshit, it's just demonizing carbs like they're the reason why you're fat. There's no other value to it. That's why some of those low-fat vegans can get way down there because they're eating like a fruit-based diet because it's about their outlook on the world rather than trying to just cut carbs to lose weight like a stupid low-carb carnivore MDs try to preach all the carb dogma. So that's the difference. So you're never gonna get somebody that's a hardcore vegan, and if they're going low fat. But even when they'll usually only add the fat in once they just get too slim if they're not like have a crazy ED. Okay, but those people aren't gonna just start eating meat because I'm telling them they can eat whatever the hell they want and count calories and stay lean. They're just not gonna do it. Where the zero carb carnivore community, shit. So most of them aren't even getting close to a good goal weight. Okay, it's a joke. It's just a fat pig diet. It's a fat pig. It's an excuse to try to eat like a fat pig. And then it doesn't even do the trick. It's like no matter how much ribeye you eat for how many days in a row, you still crave carbs. Straight up. Always. That's why you always see people, oh, I broke. Because those people, once they know if they just count the damn calories accurately, with precision accuracy, then they can eat whatever the hell they want and get a better fucking weight loss result than their stupid crazy food restriction diet that just demonizes carbs, making people think that's what's caused them to get fat. They're never gonna eat that diet ever again. Ever. That's the easiest group of people that I would get off that diet. Where the hardcore vegans aren't gonna be shook up by that because they're not doing it just for weight loss. They're doing it for a morality reason. So it doesn't make, so like if you have a woman that gets literally underweight eating straight fruit because she's doing it because she doesn't want to eat any cooked food or because she's just that hardcore of a vegan, you're not going to shake her up. If she's eating straight fruit and there's no avocado in there, she's getting skinny to the point where she could end up taking a dirt nap because it's her morality reasons. It's not like, oh, there's a guy on the internet saying you can just get lean eating whatever you want if you count calories. She's not going to care about that. because she ain't going to eat any meat or fat or anything that she thinks is going to have an environmental impact. Where these freaking carnivores, zero-carb carnivores, to shake them off the carnivore diet's a joke. It's a joke. Because they actually started the carnivore diet to try to lose weight, and the weight loss results they're getting for the effort they're putting in is trash. The effort versus results ratio is shit with that zero-carb diet. And when they realize that if they know how to count the calories accurately, and they get a good calorie count where they're cutting weight, eating whatever the hell they want, they will never entertain that fucking zero-carb diet ever again, bitch. Ever again, bitch. Maureen6129, I addressed this before, I might be way behind. It says, what is Darian Ryder eating now? He was always on rice and sugar. See, people, the followers of some of these people get so brain dead. Harley, he'll cut the fat right out if he feels like he's gaining a little bit of weight. But he eats fat. He's a vegan, but he eats fat to maintain. Okay, and so now the whole fat mixed with carb thing and shit is bullshit. Because that's the main guy that would say to cut the fat to lose weight because fat's 9 calories a gram. There's no magic at all. He eats fat. Shit, he's even talked in videos about eating like 50, 60, 70 grams of fucking fat. Because he's maintaining it with his biking and shit at like 3 grand a day. If he wasn't eating the fat, he'd basically starve himself half to death on fruit and fucking starch. Because fat's 9 calories a gram. There's no magic to the macros when you start isolating shit. None. There's no magic to isolating macros. Once people get that through their head, it's game over. You'll actually get lean. You'll realize it's just a calorie count. That's it. It's just a fucking calorie count, man. It always was. And you know what? Where I went wrong? Everything on my channel was based on trying to get you to pull the calories down over the years to lose weight. But from day one, I used to talk about calories a lot in like 2016 when I started my YouTube channel. Okay, I had videos that actually I pulled down. My very first videos aren't even up anymore. My very first video, I was talking about I was eating a meal a day, but I was saying the calorie count in that meal a day. It was like 2,200 or 2,300. Zero calorie fasting, like on snake juice. Okay, it's just 0 calories. That's why you lose weight so quick. Man. You know, the misinformation's so gross. And anybody that dances, like I say, anybody that dances around the points that I'm making here, they're trying to sell you their bullshit. They can't, like a zero-carb carnivore MD can't sell you on that fucking diet without making it somehow look like cutting carbs is a magic trick to losing weight. And then they also can't sell you the point that, oh, if you can't eat as much as you want, it's not going to work. Okay, it doesn't. They're going to sell you on just eat like this as much as you want and you'll get lean, which is bullshit. Fung, okay, saying these fasting zealots. Like, I've pushed fasting hard because for the reasons to draw the calories down. Okay, to have low-calorie days, like less calories in the diet. But Fung, he'll never address that. He's a calorie-denying jackass. He'll make it sound like that it's going to be a different result if you ate 3,000 calories in one sitting at night versus 3 meals that were 1,000 calorie pop. He's an idiot. It's the exact same fucking result. Now, when you start yarding the calories way down, is it easier to restrict the calories on a meal a day or an intermittent fasting routine, giving yourself a little more food at night? Yeah, that's the real reason for it. The reason for the fasting was to fucking restrict the calories, and it got all fucked up. It got fucked up where people started thinking it was magic because people are idiots. Because some people in the beginning would naturally just restrict the calories because they end up eating less food, but then after a while, they start freaking, if they're not counting the calories, someone will start eating even more in a tight eating window than they were eating throughout the whole fucking day before. Okay, all these idiots, the zero-carb jackasses. It's all magic, right? Just eat ribeye and tomahawks. Yeah, that's why Baker's fluffier than fuck. That's why Baker, every time, one thing I will say, he's mentioned calories. If you eat too much, you're not losing weight. He said it, but they just touch it because he doesn't want to look like a complete idiot. At least he'll admit it, but it's like he'll mention it for like 5 seconds in one video every like 365 days. Because even that jackass, he had to cut the fat way down on his fucking stupid diet to actually try to get slim. What's that mean? He's cutting the fucking calories out. And then the problem is when you're doing a zero carb diet, cutting the fat out now you're going to have real issues with getting plugged up. Because there's no fucking fiber. He's an idiot when he says you don't need fiber. That's just stupid shit. That's why these idiots' gut biomes is all screwed up and he can't eat nothing now. You're not healthy if you can't handle eating some fucking kidney beans or some vegetables. You're not. You're not healthy if you can't handle some variety in that diet without getting just all issued up, like all whatever, bowel movement, freaking gastro distension and shit. You're not healthy. Gut-wise, you're not. You are not. These people that promote like no fiber in a diet are idiots. Idiots. Okay, the only group that if you're running a low fat diet and you're adamant on keeping the fat low, that's like the only group that I would say if you did that long enough without tracking shit, you are going to definitely not be morbidly obese, but you could still stall. Because I know people that start getting into the rice and shit and they'll fucking eat enough that they'll still stall out like at a good body weight, at a weight that's way over where they should be. All right, and if they start eating dried fruit and shit and like calorie-dense sugar sources, fuck. There's a reason why those skinny vegans are already skinny are adding table sugar to shit. Because if they don't, they waste away to nothing and end up in the fucking graveyard. But then you got fat pigs watching them. Let's put fucking 100 gallons of sugar on everything. So there's more calories you didn't need. And then there's still no satiation value, which I've talked about. Okay, you can be eating like straight sugar okay, here's a good example. If I was eating straight sugar right now at 2,000 calories a day, it would not even be close to as satiating as the 2,000 calorie a day that I'm eating currently. I'd feel like shit, and I would definitely be losing muscle mass at the lower body weights on that if there was nothing in there. Give me a fucking break. Okay, pure sugar at 2K, exact, pure fucking sugar. Fruit, sugar, whatever. 2,000 calories versus my 2,000 calories I ate yesterday. The physique I'm going to generate as I cut weight on what I'm eating now versus your fucking sugar isn't even going to be close. I would definitely have risk of muscle loss like crazy as I get lean. Fat pigs, you would have a lot less risk, but why would you ever do that diet at this point when you know it's all the calories anyway? Makes no sense. You eat whatever you want, man. I'm telling you what kind of a calorie count to start out with. Women, 1,200 or less. Men, 2 grand or less. Run that for the week. Okay, and if you're weighing yourself, don't go adjusting it. If you get on that scale every day and you don't have the confidence, the psychological confidence to not fuck with that calorie count because the weight didn't move for a day or two, don't weigh yourself if your calories are on point. You don't need the scale if you're counting the calories with perfect accuracy and hitting a number that is this across the board the same. The scale is more so if you're pissing around with a calorie count where you're trying to count them and you're not doing what I'm telling you about eating packaged goods and you're guessing. It's like you're like, oh, I'm around 25 to 2 grand a day, or I'm a woman and I'm between 1,500 and 1,200 or 1,000 and 1,500. What the fuck is that? That's a 500 calorie gap. The difference between you can be getting lean versus gaining weight, you idiot. Like imagine you had a woman that her maintenance at her current body weight, let's say is like 1,250. And she's like, well, I'm in between 1,000 and 1,500. So basically she'd be losing weight on the grand and gaining weight on the fucking 1,500. If she has more days that she's closer to the 1,500, she ain't losing fuck all. Because you ain't counting shit accurately, man. You can't have these fucking stupid ranges, idiots. You pick a fucking calorie count that's going to get the result you want. You stick to it. And if the calorie count you pick is just too aggressive, then you go to the least aggressive calorie count that's still going to get you the fucking weight off. Oh my God. Ken Wang 2 says, Bart K said calories are just protons. Bart K's an idiot. Fucking fat ass motherfucker. Hasn't been lean in his life. He's one of the guys that always brings up the fucking Randall cycle. Shut the fuck up, Bart. Okay, it doesn't mean shit. Your fucking cells don't all use fat or carbs at one given time. You can prove it in 2 seconds if these jackasses actually showed you. Okay, if he has no discipline. If he showed you his exact calorie count, which you wouldn't even be able to do with the way he eats, versus eating whatever the fuck you want with the same calorie count, you get the same damn result. These guys are idiots. Man, it's just so dogmatic. And that's why there's no adherence. No fucking adherence. Okay, like, probably the guy with the most reach is definitely Ken Dad Bod Berry. And he is full of shit. Okay, he looks like shit. He's full of shit. He's red. Okay, give me a break, man. The guy's gut looks like a fucking turtle shell. Okay, if anybody's got, man, this guy is nowhere near where he should be for optimal health. He eats too fucking much. Sorry. They all lean towards their stupid fucking agenda. All of them. All of them. It's so mediocre when you see people out there, like, man, I can't wait to, like, I got a nice, fat, juicy, bloated up before picture when I started this too for you fuckers. But you look at every person that's slim. They're either counting the calories or they're extremely good at intuitive eating because they counted the fucking calories for years. Or they also have that mindset where they're just trying to eat less. Less. But when you pick a calorie count that's low enough, by default, you're eating less. Yeah, some of them jackasses built their whole fucking thing on fucking the Randall cycle. Shut the fuck up. Oh, the overarching theme is always the calorie count. Calories equated, the guy eating the less calories, if they're twin brothers that are fat pigs, calories equated, the guy eating less calories is going to lose more fucking weight. Doesn't matter if his brother's eating 3,000 calorie a fucking ribeye and the other guy's eating 2,000 calorie of ice cream and maybe throws a bit of protein in there. He's going to lose way more weight than his fat ass brother eating 3,000 calorie of ribeye, 0 carb bullshit. All right, what do we got here? The four no name four says, what's your opinion on Durian Rider saying unlimited fruit and starches? Right away, it's insane fucking food restriction. So now you can never have a chocolate bar? You can never have any beef jerky? You can't have a fucking hamburger at McDonald's? Okay, like fuck. If you cut the fat right out of the diet and you're eating straight fruit, I guarantee you'll get slim. Who the fuck is gonna do that? And there's still people that'll run the starches high enough that they'll stall. Okay, they'll get in too many calories. Okay, and then also when you get lean enough, if you actually want to have a little bit more muscle on you than Harley's got on him, okay, Harley's message is good as far as people being fat asses. But it's still pushing a diet that is so food restrictive, most people, I can't fucking coach people that diet. If somebody gets a hold of me is eating like that, if they're eating like that for morality reasons, that means they're strict on it. They probably are like literally going to end up like one of these girls that's like 70 pounds eating fruit only. Did it work for weight loss? Yeah. Okay, can I acknowledge that? Yeah, I've talked about it before. But there's people out there, like when you're talking about getting really lean, if the protein's like 0, you're going to lose muscle like crazy. Like, it's not just, you don't need a bunch of muscle on you, but you're not going to have, like, you're going to lose everything. You're going to die. Okay, no, the starch, like, you can't just eat, what's unlimited meat? There's still fat pigs out there that they'll eat enough food that they'll stall, especially without all the activity. Okay, all those people are doing a lot of activity. Okay, Harley's doing a lot of biking. Those girls that are claiming they're eating 2,500 calories a day, which they're not even counting shit, so you don't know what they're eating. Chances are they're way under 2,500. But if you're doing 1,000 calories worth of bike riding every fucking day and you're 5'9" woman, you can be slim. Okay, it's very fucking loose, weak messaging. It's no different than somebody saying you just gotta eat ribeye. But I will say, if you're eating 0 fat, fruit, and starch, most of you that are morbid obese, you definitely will it'll take it, like that's the thing, if you actually stuck to that shit, it'll take you down to where you're probably slim at some point. But who the fuck's gonna do that diet? Nobody! You need to have a morality, you need to have some sort of morality goal to do it. Nobody's gonna do it. It's all the calories. It doesn't fucking matter. Man. And here's something about Ozempic. Yeah, Maker's Voice says, Cole, why are people on Oprah Ozempic saying they're having issues putting on weight now? Is that really a danger? Is that stupid drug? That is very scary. So here's issues putting on weight. Fuck, there's people on Ozempic that ain't. Most people that are on Ozempic are not losing fucking weight. Let's get that straight. Most people on Ozempic are not getting to an excellent body weight. If they lose some weight, there's a lot of placebo there when you start a drug too. Okay, even if it kills some hunger, it doesn't kill hunger enough to not make these fat pigs keep eating like fat pigs. They might get less fat, but they're still fat. Okay, you're not getting, man, and people gotta understand, what's Ozempic doing? It's simulating a situation that's just yarding the calories down. When you can do it on your own, you idiot. And then there is all the nasty-ass side effects. So imagine if you're not honest with yourself of why Ozempic is even getting you a result in the first place, if you are getting a result, being the calories are just lower than you're eating before, you're fucking brain dead. You're brain dead. It's not magic. Okay, it's still a calorie game. It's just a drug that's making you less hungry. But most people that are less hungry are still too hungry to get fucking slim. Waste of money. And then side effects are fucking terrible. Imagine somebody actually understood that, see, the best scenario you could get out of Oprah Ozempic is understanding that it's a calorie game and you're on it and you're giving it, you're trying to build new habits for a short period of time to eat less calories for a long period of time after you come off it. But nobody's got that mentality. It'd be like, imagine you actually had a weight loss drug that literally made you want to puke when you eat. So you just wouldn't eat nothing. So, nasty side effects though. But let's say, okay, I'm on this drug for like 2 weeks. And you're smart with yourself. You're like, this will give me a chance to build the habits of somebody that doesn't eat much. So you'll try to build habits while you're not eating much. But you can't even say that about Oprah Ozempic. Because people are still eating like a pig. Because again, drugs like that attract dumbasses. Because most people today are fucking idiots. Fat ass dumb pigs. It attracts dumbasses that are never gonna fucking, that are never gonna realize that it's just a calorie situation still. They think the drug's magic. Which that's why people are still stalled out on it. Because they're eating too fucking much. Stupid shit. Combined with the nasty ass side effects. Ozempic. Fuck. And it's funny, some doctors, somebody will be losing weight on their own, just counting calories, doing a good job, and the doctors will still be, hey, you should get on Ozempic. Shut up. Anybody that tells somebody else to get on Ozempic's an idiot. You're weak. You're weak. All right, let's see here. Object Therapy said my BMR is 2048 at 6'1", 250. 6'1", 250. So 250, you mean you're putting in 250? Well, you shouldn't be 250, you're fat ass. What is your BMR? If you put in 6'1" on the top end of the BMI chart at 24.9. That is the weight you put in to your BMR calculator, not 250. See, this is funny. Andreas7690 says, I believe in carnivore, but I count calories, so you don't believe in shit. What do you mean you believe? Okay, we're not about believing. Okay, I'm not hoping to lose weight eating 2,000 calories exact today. I'm not believing in shit. It fucking works. Okay, the math pans out. There's no believing in shit. There's no diet dogma bullshit. It fucking works, all right? The math works. Okay, you don't believe, like I believe in carnivore, but you count calories? So there you go. Like if you ate more on your carnivore diet to where, okay, let's say you're maintaining right now on a calorie count of whatever. You eat more calories than that on your same damn diet, you're going to gain weight. So how do you believe, so what do you believe in? There's no magic. Believe in what? Drives me nuts. When did dieting and weight loss become? I believe in it. I believe. Like you're praying to fucking Sean Dad Bod Baker. I believe in you. Because you're too fucking lazy to use your resources that you've had for fucking years to figure out some fucking numbers about what your body is gonna burn at a low ass body weight, your goal weight. You're just fucking lazy. And that's why these guys sell you on this shit. Because you're lazy. And stalled out. And spending $1 bazillion on tomahawks and ribeyes. Oh my God. Kevin B. Bad said Bruce Lee knew it was insulin. What was insulin? What's that even mean? Bruce Lee knew it was insulin? What are you fucking talking about? Okay? What are you talking about? Bruce Lee would have ate a shitload of rice. Like, what are you talking about? Knew what was insulin? What do you mean? What was insulin? What, gaining weight was caused by insulin spikes? Bullshit. Is that what you mean? Man. See, this thing isn't even listening to this comment section if I don't address some of this bullshit. People still won't do any homework. I give you guys exactly what to do. It won't fail. It works every fucking time. And the longer you do it, you become smarter at portion control. And there's no fucking food choice restriction bullshit where don't eat this, don't eat that. Don't eat this, don't eat that. Matt Bachar said, fat is a vitamin. Great. There's a fucking 100 million fat calories on your fat fucking gut, you idiot. Oh my God. See all this crap. See? Ken Wang too says carbs can convert to body fat. It doesn't fucking matter. Calories equated, you're gonna get the same fucking result eating carbs, fat, protein, protein only, carbs only. It doesn't fucking matter. You can eat whatever you want. When you count the calories, you have a good calorie count, a proper calorie count for you, counting it with perfect accuracy, eating whatever the fuck you want. Everything that tries to shake your head away from that, anything that distracts you from that is fucking dogma-based bullshit. Bullshit. See, it doesn't matter. Like, even this shit comes up. Will Sarge says carbs, this has to do with carbs take energy to turn into body fat. So that was another thing that will be preached by the low-fat crowd. Oh, it takes all this energy to turn carbs into fat. It doesn't matter. When the calories are equated, you're going to get the same fucking weight loss result. It doesn't matter if it was mixed macros versus straight sugar. And in fact, as you get leaner, the mixed macros will give you a better result with your physique. Hands down. Hands down, because if you're going too crazy, when you get really lean on the protein being just too low, it has to be really low, but it can get very low when you're dogmatic enough on a low-fat diet or something like this, so you'll end up actually losing muscle at that point. And you don't need a lot of muscle. I'm saying you'd get under-muscled. Okay, and then you got the other issue with your low-carb bullshit. It's so easy to keep the calories through the roof because of all the fat. And when you run the carbs out of your diet for way too long, especially if you're a woman, and then getting menopausal, it destroys your fucking thyroid function. So there is shit to that. The best, man, oh my God. Anytime I was promoting a low-fat diet was to cut the fucking calories down at 9 calorie a gram on the fat. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter if there was fat in the diet. If the calories are equal, you'd lose the same amount of weight. But is it easier to go to Subway and have 2 low-fat subs that's like 1,400 calories or 1,600 calories total versus having, let's say, you would maybe even have 1 sub that's 1,600 calories if you put a bunch of shit dressing and fatty meat on it. Okay, so what? Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Some people might feel better on the lower volume, calorie-dense sub if the calories are still 1,600 versus 2 of the low-fat subs. They were both 12-inch subs with the higher volume. Okay, you might feel better on the lower volume. Like that, a lot of people feel better on the lower volume. That's why pushing, it's all bullshit. The calories is what matters. The calories is what matters. That's it. The faster you understand this point, you're going to get fucking ripped. If you refuse to understand this point, you're going to either be fat forever, or you could, if you're like I say, if you're a vegan, like a moral ethics vegan, doing a crazy low-fat diet and trying to eat like no cooked food, you're going to definitely get lean, but you're eventually going to tap into muscle mass. And nobody's going to eat that diet because the food choice restriction's too high. Because now you can't have a chocolate bar, you can't have a burger once in a while, you can't have this, can't have that. Soon as your diet is based on you can't have a certain food, the adherence just went to fucking almost zero. Almost zero. In the whole of the world right now, how many people are eating a zero-fat vegan diet? Nobody. The closest you'll see to that would be poor people eating, like, this is a good diet, but I'm telling you how it's all calories, but there'd be people eating like potatoes and some lean fish and some vegetables. Like, poor man's diet's going to be small amount of protein, carbs, and vegetables. Like, that'd be a poor man's diet. But you'd have to be forced to eat that diet. You have to live in an environment where you don't even have access to the other shit. Okay, now if you have access to the other stuff, again, it's still food choice restricted. That environment, though, like say if you went to some third world country where they only had like potatoes, some fish, and vegetables, and that's all you can eat, then you're getting slim. Because that's all you're going to be able to eat. If the fat's low enough, you're naturally going to get to a good body weight because you can't even have anything that's really calorie dense. But in our society, unless you're trying to restrict everything, you're not going to restrict everything. You want to be able to get lean without any restriction. And the only way you're going to do that is count those calories. And there's, many skinny women too. Well, there isn't even a lot of skinny women. I shouldn't say it like that. There is no skinny women anymore. They're all fat ass. The same with the men. They're all fat pigs. But the women that are skinny, some of the skinniest women are actually eating a diet that's like not low fat at all. Like they might even be like in New York and going out and having like a chunk of cheesecake, but it's just a small portion. They're just excellent at portion control. And they've all counted calories before. The only way you're going to get good at, like, that zero-fat vegan diet doesn't teach portion control because you're chasing volume. That's the whole point. It doesn't teach portion control. Low-fat dieting in general doesn't actually teach portion control very good, if at all. Counting calories and getting lean, counting calories, eating whatever the hell you want will teach portion control to the point where you can eyeball food and to the point where you actually are trying to eat less, not eat more. See, that's coming, all that other shit comes from a frame of eating more to lose weight. That's not what you want to be doing. Mentally, you don't want to get into that frame. You don't want to be in that frame. You don't, here's how you eat more to lose weight. That's for mediocre motherfuckers. That's the problem. That's your first problem. Trying to eat more to lose weight. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God. Here's the, oh man. Okay, like right now, like I'm gonna go back. Like I'm eating 2,000 calorie a day, counted exactly with canned goods, packaged goods. Somewhere between 1,900 and 2 grand. I refuse to go over 2 grand. Okay, that calorie count will be very close to yielding me a goal weight of 160, which in this title I said I'd be under 10% body fat. Guaranteed at 160, I'll be like 8. But I said 10, because you started getting down to 8% body fat and shit as a natural. Okay, that's where there'll be a point. Man, I'll tell you right now, the skinniest people, literally, are always calorie counters. Because, man, there's women out there that can drag that diet so low. And it ends up being a situation where you actually got to put the brakes on. Once you get, it's crazy how little you could end up eating when you're counting the food. So for me, if I'm on 2 grand and it's easy, even when I get down, especially when I intermittent fast all day, if I get down to like 162, 163, and the 2 grand feels easy and I'm still cutting weight, okay, that's where I gotta be careful because like I could tank my testosterone levels if I get lean enough for too long. So now that's gonna be a genetic thing. I've held on to 8% body fat for long periods of time in the past. Okay, now, this is why I'm talking about this again. Because this isn't just about you guys. I want to, like, just really push this message because this is the kind of coaching I want to do. Okay, I don't want to fucking coach people with the mediocre bullshit at all. I'm not. Anybody that comes to me now, I'm going to be getting them on a phone consult. We're going to go through all these fucking numbers. Okay, we're going to talk about what you're going to get at the grocery store. I'm going to go through all these fucking numbers. We're going to talk about your weight. I'm going to make you take pictures. Okay, a higher level of value that way. Okay, which is the stuff I enjoy. Real coaching. I want to see fucking women get hot. Not just some 200-pound woman lose like 20 pounds and shit. And then still have bad eating habits. And not know anything about the numbers. All right, what do we got here? Local Al said, I'm 435 pounds. Of course, I'm diabetic / pre-diabetic. He must have been talking to somebody else. That won't last long. Just keep cutting weight. Keep cutting weight. Eating whatever the hell you want. As long as you're losing weight, You can literally reverse diabetes, losing weight, eating chocolate. For you people, oh my, you can, weight loss is king. And I'm going to say this. If you get to where you're getting really lean, at really lean body weights is where you can literally destroy any health issues, any sickness. Any sickness when you're lean enough, if you can hold your body at a body weight that's below lean. So somewhere's where you're like always in a state of autophagy. It's like your body just doesn't want to be down there. Okay, that's when you can really get some serious shit out of your body. That's when you'll chew up loose skin. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys right now, you get lean enough for long enough, it doesn't even matter what you eat. If you're lean enough for long enough, really lean, your body is going to chew up loose skin. It's got to. Because you're in such a deficit. Because you have like no body, you're very low body fat. The body will mobilize the protein to eat from the loose skin. But you need to get lean. Like to get that kind of effect. Lean. Really lean. Like so lean that you look like you want to get where you look at the person and they got loose skin, and under that loose skin it looks like they're literally like 4% body fat. And your body will be chewing on that loose skin, baby. You can eat whatever you want. Whatever you want. As long as you can count those calories with precision accuracy. You want to become a pro at counting those calories with precision accuracy to meet your calorie goal that you've set to lose weight and get lean. And I just gave you numbers at the start of this video. 2 baseline numbers, 2 grand for men or under. And for women, 1,200 or under. 1,200 would put some of you tiny women in a surplus. Okay, women are delusional. So much more delusional than men when it comes to how much calories they need. Delusional. If you see a woman that's running her mouth about eating X amount of calories, there is a story behind it with their cardio. There's a woman that might do like an hour on the stair climber a day. And yeah, they're doing an hour on the stair climber. Maybe they're running a 1,600 calorie diet when their maintenance was like 12. But now the stair climber allows them to eat another 400. Okay, is there other benefits that could come from doing some exercise like that? Yeah, but when you're forcing cardio to lose weight, that is a bad situation to be in. Because eventually you're going to be old enough where you're not going to be able to just climb fucking stairs for an hour a day. Then what? What are you going to do then, fatty? Just get fatter than hell. At that point, you got to rely on the calories, baby. People that are walking like 30,000 steps a day. Some of these carnivore women, because they can't get the calories low enough. Because there's too much fat. And they're not counting shit. So what they're doing is weighing themselves and trying to keep up with like stupid amounts of steps. 30,000. What a waste of life. Because you eat too fucking many calories, you idiot. Man. I love that steak and butter bitch, how she always shows, people send me shit. She'll show like this pile of food on a plate. Yeah, I eat friggin' this steak and this cheese and all this fat. And how much do you think she's really eating on the day, you idiots? Okay, if I seen her whole day, it would make perfect sense. She's not even eating close to what she shows people. They try to make it look like you can get away with just eating like a pig. And then that food gets just gross. And God knows how many steps she's logging. You don't even know what the fuck she's doing. A girl her size, I don't give a shit what she's eating. Literally, at her size, if she wasn't doing any steady state cardio, she'd be like a 1,200 or 1,000 calories. She'd be a very low calorie a day person. If you're walking enough, you're going to log a pile extra calories. Okay, you can get yourself up. If you're being an idiot and you're walking your life away, trying to burn calories, you can get a woman that's skinny eating 2,000 a day, and she's walking for like 4 fucking hours. Nice life. Just because you refuse to fucking count the calories. You refuse. And you're eating a diet that sucks because you're limited, your food choice restricted to the max. The food choice restriction on that zero carb carnivore diet's like the worst. It's the worst, man. Not to mention all the other side effects. Plugged up. Okay, plugged up. Or a lot of people that are doing the vegan diet, there's just a little too much fiber, bloated up to the gills. Okay, gassy. Okay, whatever the fuck I want, man. My meal last night was almost that. I'm gonna remember that one. That one was fucking perfect. Okay, it was perfect. The one the night before wasn't bad. Okay, I had those sausages, but because the sausages were a lot higher in fat, it didn't allow me quite the stuff I had last night. Like I had that chocolate bar last night. I had that bag of mango, where when I had the sausages the night before, it was like 1,200 calories of sausages, so I only had 800 calories to fuck with. So I had a can of that. I had a can of one of those soups you can get, or one of those like, the can, like the clam chowder, but it wasn't that, whatever it was. I had that, and I had a can of peas and carrots. So I had peas and carrots, that other can of that stuff, and the sausages. I had one other thing. It was right on the money again. It was like 1,970 calories. But last night's meal was better because I went with the chicken breast, which was way leaner, obviously, than the sausages. And then I was able to have like a chocolate bar in there. It was just a better meal last night. And I had a can of this chili that was like 540 calories. And it was excellent, this fucking chili that I had. Like, it's fucking perfect, man. I could hold on to a 2K a day diet till I literally either hit my goal. I will hit it. I'm going to tell you right now, I know my numbers. A 2K a day, I will get fucking ripped. All right? I will get fucking ripped to the point where I'll have to back off and start going back the other way and add in like probably 100, 200, 300 calories to that diet. On 2K a day, I can sustain it like a fucking joke. I will get fucking ripped with absolutely no negative side effects. None. It's like, how ripped do I want to get? I'll go by how I feel in the gym with my body weight shit. There's a reason why I want to get lighter. So my reason now, I'll tell you guys right now, I don't give a fuck about my weight that much, as far as if I'm anywhere between 170, 180 is great. But I want to fucking get better on the body weight calisthenics. Okay, I got some fucking goals on the body weight shit. You gotta be light, baby. You gotta be light. Okay, I want to get lighter for the body weight shit so I can do some more crazy shit on the bar. When you're doing body weight work, baby, lighter the better. Lighter the better. Okay, and there's gonna be a lot of people. I'm 5'7". There's gonna be guys bigger than me, 5'9", 5'10", especially. Like, I got a good amount of muscle at 5'7". There's no doubt about that. But most of you guys, you're gonna get ripped on 2,000. 2,000 so easy to sustain. And if you do end up throwing a fast in there, go ahead, jump back on 2K, and that's your diet. 2K. If you're a small dude, 5'4", 5'3", low activity, maybe start a little lower. If you want to go the most aggressive, use the BMR, use the basal metabolic rate based on your height and the high end of normal on the BMI chart. 24.9. If you're a woman, the low end of normal on that fucking BMI chart. Or you take my advice and you just start with 1,200 calorie or less. Kiss 1,200 calories or just under. See where that takes you for a week or two. Eating whatever the fuck you want. Whatever the fuck you want. And to know that you're 1,200 calories or less, canned or packaged goods, count it fucking exact. If you want coaching, Cole Robinson on Facebook. I'll guide you through this shit. I'll teach you how to track that shit, teach you how to count that shit, or Snake Diet Wizard on Instagram. Until next time, count the fucking calories accurately, you fat pig. 2,000 calories starting point for men or less, 1,200 calories starting point for women or less, or to get more aggressive, use the BMR based on the low end of normal for women, which is 18.5 BMI, for your height, and the high end of normal for men, which is 24.9 BMI for your height. Fat ass pigs.